All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
Tomorrow, tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools o'er to dusty death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me can life be no commodity? The crown and comfort of my life, your favor I do give lost. For I do feel it gone, but know not how it went.
What is it about Shakespeare that you keep coming back to?
It's poetry. It's from the soul. It's from the heart.
There's a lot more Game of Thrones in Shakespeare than you think.
It'll never grow old. I really don't believe it'll ever grow old, especially with the way people keep re-energizing it and modernizing it and making it exciting for new audiences.
But I think that's the wonderful thing about Shakespeare, and it's been done and interpreted in so many different ways, from street culture to Wall Street to everything. He deals with such great universal themes.
I just don't want to see people take Shakespeare too seriously.
But it was still supposed to be entertainment. It was still supposed to be something that everybody could get on the first try. It originally wasn't something that everybody had to pry into and dissect and take apart piece by piece.
Shakespeare was writing for the groundlings. He was writing for those people who could barely afford a ticket. They had to stand the entire time and drink and enjoy the show, and that's where he put most of the dirty jokes in for. I think that was his audience, and I think by trying to make it scholarly, we lose a lot of that fun that the scripts have.
This is the air. That is the glorious sun. This pearl she gave me. I do feel it and see it. And though 'tis wonder that enwraps me thus, yet 'tis not madness.
How happy o'er others some can be. Through Athens I am thought as fair as she. But what of this? Demetrius thinks not so. He will not know all that we do know. For as he errs doting on Hermia's eyes, so I, admiring of his quality, things base and vile, folding no quantity, love can transpose to form and dignity.
Tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Shakespeare really nailed what it means to be a human being. All of his plays just ran the gamut, hit the whole spectrum of everything you could really experience as a human being. Whether you're young and in love, whether you're a power-mad king.
He touched on human nature. He's able in a most of the time funny but dramatic way, touched on that bit of human nature that's still so relevant.
I think Shakespeare is still relevant today because what he wrote about is timeless. It transcends through all different periods of time because he wrote about what it means to be a human being, and he really got to the core of that.
When you hit on universal themes, when you hit on things like revenge, love, I just feel that those things will always ring true. I think that the poetry, and it's almost like a detriment nowadays, the poetry, it's so beautiful, it's so flowery that it stops some people from access to it.
His plays today are relevant because we as humans still react the same way that the characters in his plays did.
I don't think we give enough credit to Shakespeare in general. I don't think many people, especially in this modern day, pay attention to him.
He just seemed to have this wealth of knowledge and wisdom about being a human being that transcended when he wrote it or where he wrote it. or even how he wrote it. Everybody can relate. If they sit down with it and they really give it a chance, they'll understand themselves better and other people.
What doth he think of us? Nay, I know not, unless he knows some strain in me that I know not myself. He would not have boarded me in this fury.
Boarding call you it? I'll be sure to keep him above deck.
Yet, here's a spot. A damn spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Well then, 'tis time to do it.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way, for it is said God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed he sends none.
My mistress with a master is in love. Near to her close and consecrated bower, while she was in a dull and sleeping hour.
Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. Its tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury. Signify nothing.
It's like you handed a classroom full of students a bunch of coconuts, and the kids, you tell them, get in those coconuts, crack it. So if you can imagine a classroom full of children trying to get into a coconut, that's going to be really hard.
Yeah, I feel like Shakespeare is kind of like a hard math class when you're in school. And it's hard at first to understand it, but the longer you're with it and with the problem, and the more you read it, the more you understand. So I think it's not for the faint of heart.
Shakespeare is amazing. You just, when you let it into your life, it just sort of, I don't know, it could heighten you, as Shakespeare would say. Like his language is very heightened. I just think it's really special.
I think Shakespeare's being done in so many different exciting ways. I'm always intrigued to see what the interpretation is, how people are going to do it. I've done Romeo and Juliet 3 times, and I've done Midsummer Night's Dream 4 times. And every single one was completely different.
Whereas, if you don't concentrate on the iambic pentameter and the Old English and the references and topical allusions that Shakespeare makes that are 500 years old, and you concentrate more on the story, then that's more like handing your classroom full of kids a bunch of oranges.
And I think a lot of creative people are always sort of Shakespeare's sort of looms very large in their world, and even like you see it in modern films. They use a lot of Shakespearean concepts, and it's really a pillar of modern fiction, modern theatrical performance, filmmaking. So, Shakespeare looms large everywhere.
The first time I came across Shakespeare, I was a bit intimidated by his language, but when I started reading his plays, I realized that it's really very clear and very straightforward and very powerful, the way that he uses language.
And the whole point of using Shakespeare as a leaping off point for literature is showing your students that literature has value every day.
The idea of the human condition, whether you're a king or a peasant or in the middle or wherever you are in the food chain of society, everyone can relate to the human condition.
It's no different today. We wear different clothes, and our language is slightly different.
But we still have those same feelings, that same desires, the same passions, the same, we still have the same good and evil.
No matter how rich you are, powerful you are, it doesn't matter. Everyone is in the same mortal coil, and we all have the same problems.
Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed. But mistake me not, no life. I prize it not a straw.
I will tell him of fair Hermia's flight. And then to the wood will he tomorrow night pursue her. And if for this intelligence I have thanks, it is a dear expense. But herein I mean to enrich my pain, to have his sight, thither and back again.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. First, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms.
How oft when thou my music playest, upon that blessed wood whose motion sounds, with thy sweet fingers when thou gently swayest, the wiry concord that mine ear confounds.
A girl patches, rude mechanicals, meant to rehearse the play, intended for a great Theseus nuptial day.
What? Have I escaped love letters in the holiday time of my beauty, and am I now a subject for them? Oh, let me see. Ask me no reason why I love you, for though love use reason for his physician, he admits him not for his counselor. Ooh, you are not young.
Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Open your ears. For which of you will stop the vent of hearing when loud rumor speaks? I from the Orient to the drooping West, making the wind my post horse, still unfold the acts commenced on this ball of earth. Upon my tongue continual slanders ride, the which in every language I pronounce, stuffing the ears of men with false reports. But why is rumor here? I run before King Harry's victory, who in a bloody field by Shrewsbury hath beaten down young Hotspur and his troops. But what mean I to speak so true at first? My office is to noise abroad that Harry Monmouth fell under the wrath of noble Hotspur's swarm. This have I rumored through the peasant towns.
Life's but a walking shadow. Poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. 'Tis a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
I just don't want to see people take Shakespeare too seriously.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou?
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Oh, Death, where is thy sting?
Hey, boom operator, get that boom out of my face!